Hello everyone. Today I will be hopefully teaching you some stuff about trigonometry and how we can find the lengths of lines. Actually basically how we can implement those in our daily lives. Like before we begin with trigonometry, I would like to show you how can we find the lengths, the distance between 2 points. Why do we need this? Because as you can imagine, we will have triangles, right? Right triangles, and we will be needing how to find the hypotenuse, for example, and Pythagorean theorems, etc. So let's imagine we have 2 points, point A and point B, okay? And we want to find distance between these points. So the way we do it is gonna be like this. So let's draw the distance horizontally, the difference in distance, and vertical distance difference. So this is 3, right? And this is 4 units. So we want to find the distance in here. Some of you may know this is 5. Why? Because you memorized. But it actually is based on a rule. So, okay, you know the Pythagorean theorem, which is 3 square plus 4 square is going to be equal to AB square. Okay? But how do we come to this point? Like, what's the basis of it? The basis is like this. I'm just going to write it here. Let's call this coordinate of A x1 and y1. And for B, let's call the coordinate x2, y2. Okay? So basically, in order to find AB, the length of AB, right? We will have to first find the distance of the vertical line, the vertical difference, right? So it's going to be y2 minus y1, basically, okay? And then square plus x2 minus x1 square. So let's give it a go in here. What's the coordinate of B? Let's write it. What's the coordinate? The x represents the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? X is 5. And y is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4. This is representing B. And for A, it is 1 and 1. So let's give it a go. Y2, right? 4 minus 1 square plus, what's the x2 here? 5, right? 5 minus 1 square. So let's calculate it. 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. 3 square is equal to 9. Plus 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. 4 square is 16. Now we have 25. What we are going to do is 25, right? So this is actually the square, AB square. And in order to find AB square, we got to take the square root of 25. So AB is going to be, if AB square is equal to 25, 25 is equal to 5 square, right? These are same, we eliminate these. AB is going to be 5. So we found AB. This is how we do it. This is called the Pythagorean theorem. So, but how do we understand? How do we differentiate that length with the other ones? So basically, if we have a right triangle like this, right? The side opposite the right angle is called hypotenuse. So let's write it. Hypotenuse is equal to this one right here. side opposite the right angle. So this is my first lesson in math, and I may be a little bit anxious, but I think I will get used to it if I just lose myself in the teaching process. So yeah, that's that. Okay, we have done that. And in short, Pythagorean theorem is like this. Let's also write it. Pythagorean theorem. Let's call this A. Let's call this B and C. A square is equal to, just kidding, A square plus B square is equal to C square. Okay? But why do we need this, and how can we implement in our daily life? Let's say you are trying to cross a river, okay? Let's write a question about it. Let's say Jane is trying to, you can pass this part if you like to, pass a river by swimming. But because of the current, she cannot swim in a straight line, like directly, following a straight line, let's say. Swim following a straight line. So she's a little bit deviating from her course, straight line, and ends up moving towards right. She found herself deviating from her destination point, deviating, let's say, deviating 12 meters. 12 meters from her end point. Okay? Which is called point C, let's say. How many meters did Jane swim? And let's say the distance or the width, let's say, river is 15 meters. So let's draw it, okay? Okay, so this in this way the current is coming, right? From left to right, because she found herself, she was in here, right? She wanted to go this way, but she found herself, let's say here. Okay, this is her new destination point. She wanted to go this way. And she deviated how many meters? 12 meters, okay? And what's the width of the river? Let's say 15, okay? And we want to find how many meters did she swim? The distance in here. So what are we going to do? We are going to apply the Pythagorean theorem. 12 square plus 15 square is equal to, let's call this point C, BC square, okay? When I was explaining in here at the beginning, I forgot to put square. It was because of maybe lack of attention maybe, or excitement with the first video. Okay, so that's how we are gonna calculate it. Let me just quickly take my calculator and calculate it for you. So 12 times 12 is equal to 144, right? And 15 times 15 is equal to 225. So let's add these up. 369. We are going to take the square root of it to eliminate. There is this hidden 2, and these two eliminate each other. So square root of 369 is going to be, let's see, actually we can find it from here. Yeah. Square root of 369 is equal to 19.2. So this is going to be 19.2 meters. Okay? So we are good to go. We did our first question. And now let's do another one. We have now 3 points. Okay? Let me draw it right now. Okay, one in here. Yeah, let me count it actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I'm not gonna count it. Just imagine. This is not. We are not following the squares. So this is E, 6 and 8. And this is going to be. Actually, let me just get rid of the grid maybe. How can I get rid of the grid? I'm not sure. Is it from here? No. Anyways, F 0 to 2. And here we will have D. Okay. Negative 3 to 6. Okay. So we want to find the distance of these, in between these points. So how are we gonna do it? It's easy. So let's start with from EF, let's say EF, okay, is equal to, how can we find it? Y2 minus Y1 square plus X2 minus X1 square. So I'm just gonna give, if it's higher, if it has a higher number, then I'm gonna say Y2 and X2, okay? So this is gonna be X2 and this is gonna be Y2. That's how I do it. So let's do it. And this is X1, Y1. So let's do it. 8 minus 2 square plus 6 minus 0 square is equal to what? 6 plus 6, 12. So the length of EF is going to be 12 square root. Okay? Because EF square is, if EF square is equal to 12, what am I going to do? I'm going to take square root of both sides. Okay? What's happening? I'm getting rid of these two. Then EF is left alone, which is equal to square root 12. So we found that. Let's find FD. Same thing. In this case, since we are taking the square root, the order actually doesn't really matter in here, but let's see. 6 minus 2 square plus, right? Negative 3 minus 0 square. 4 square, 16 plus 9, 25, right? And FD, again, I forgot to put the square, is 25, so it's gonna be 5. Here is 5, and ED is your homework, okay? I'm not gonna do it, I'm just passing it. Okay, now let me first talk about the angles. Let's classify angles. Classifying the angles. Like, what do we name them? If it's less than 90 degrees, okay, if it's like this, doesn't matter, like this is called the acute angle. It's so cute, it's tiny, okay, acute angle. And this is called the pivot point, or pivot point. Imagine you're opening a door, right? So it's like the hinge of the door. It's not moving to anywhere, it's the center, the pivot point, and the door is opening and closing, the angles. Pivot point, or you can say pivot point vertex. So if it's in between, let's call this A degrees, if it's like this, less than, not less or equal, less than 90. And this is called the right angle, perpendicular. I would like to share a memory of mine. So I was traveling from Las Vegas, I think, to Toronto. Yeah. On my way back, there was this one Chinese guy in front of me, and he was leaning extremely back, like occupying the whole space. And I interrupted the guy and I said, excuse me, sir, can you please make your seat perpendicular? And he had no idea. I was more familiar with the mathematical terms. And the lady next to me warned me, like, you don't say like that. Like, that's not the way you express yourself. And she yelled at him. And she says, straighten your goddamn seat up, like that. And at that moment, I understood the importance of, I don't know, phrasal verbs, I guess, the way we speak. Anyways, whenever I'm mentioning the word perpendicular, that memory comes to my mind. This is right angle. It has to be equal to 90 degrees, okay? And if it's more than 90, right? Let's say C. If it's like this, then this is called obtuse angle. And if it's equal to 180 degrees, like this, then this is equal to straight angle. Just, I don't want to mix your mind, but this is also equal to pi, if you want to show it in radian. This is the degree. This is the degree, right? And this is the radian, and it is equal to 180 degrees. Now, question: what is the equivalence of 360 degrees? Thank you for saying it. 2 pi. That's it. What is 90 degrees? Half of it. Pi over 2. And you can also do it like this. If pi is equal to 180 degrees, what is 30 degrees? And you can do cross multiplication, right? 30, if it's, or you can just say divided by 6, divided by 6. Same thing. Or 30 times pi divided by 180. Doesn't matter. Okay, classifying angles, we said. What else? else. Let's do one question about angles. Then we are going to turn back to trigonometry. But I'm just trying to teach some basics in here. Okay, let's say that we have two lines, okay, intersecting with each other. I saw an Instagram post about this. Like, if you are very similar to one person, that means you are very parallel, right? And you never meet with each other. This is so sad, it said on the post like that. And with this one, if you are not parallel, you are gonna intersect at some point in life and will never see each other ever again. And this is really sad again also. So yeah, that's that. Okay, let's say this is, let's say point A, B, right? And these are points, let's say, C, D, and this is point, okay? We have 4 points like that. Okay, now let's talk about the angles, okay? This angle, let's call it 3x plus 5 degrees. This is going to be, let's say, y plus 20 degrees. Let's call this x plus 15 degrees, and this one 4y minus 15 degrees, okay? So, find x and y degrees. So, how are we going to do it? Easy. This right here is equal to, what was it? A straight angle, 180 degrees, okay? So I'm just gonna add them up. 3x plus 5 plus x plus 15. 4x plus 20 is equal to 180. So I just drop this 20 to the other side of the equation. 4x is equal to 160 divided by 4. X is going to be 40. So x is equal to 40. Okay, I got this. Now let me just find this angle. 40 times 3, 120. Add 5, 125. 125 degrees plus y plus 20. Now I'm looking to this angle. Is equal to 180 degrees. So y plus, actually just leave y alone, okay? Take it to the other side, 160, and again subtract 120, 40. So y is also 40, okay? Am I right? No, my bad. 125. It was 125. So 35. Yeah, 35 degrees. If I make some mistakes with the math part, good mathematicians are bad at calculating with the numbers. That's what people say, as long as I've heard. Okay, so that will be it. And in the next lesson, I will be speaking about the unit circle, the very essence and the most important part of trigonometry in order to understand the fundamentals and the concept. See you in the next video.